Hello and a very good morning, good afternoon or good evening wherever you are in the world watching something for the very wet weekend, or it certainly is today when I'm recording this, which is Thursday. Hope you're all keeping safe. Bit of a change, I'm in my garden here because I thought you'd be bored looking at me sitting at my desk in my shack indoors. You had a glimpse of me driving around in my motor car last week, so I thought I'd give you a change of scenery again. I've actually got some ideas for next week, but you'll have to wait and see for that. And it involves more driving. So, and I will keep both hands on the wheel because somebody pointed out to me, keep your hands on the wheel. And he's an advanced driving instructor, and it was noted, and I thanked him for it. So. Couple of things, quite a few things. Icom IC-7600s, we ran out, but thanks to good old Icom UK, we've got them back in stock again. They actually arrived this morning, so there was an interlude where we had none. They've now arrived back with a whole load of kit from other suppliers, Yaesu, M&P, goodness knows what. In fact, we had so much M&P coax and plugs arrive early. I think they turned up at about 7:30 on Monday, and the lads were greeted with that when they turned up. So it wasn't just getting it all off the pallets, it was getting all the many back orders. Anyway, back to the IC-7610. You know the transceiver, it's one of our favourites. Nice big clear display stuck in the middle of the screen. It's really the big brother to the IC-7300. Has got display output. So if you want to connect it, as many of you have seen in visiting the shop, you can connect it to an external display. So if you are slightly have difficulty with your sight, you certainly won't do when you plug this into a nice high-res monitor stuck behind it. 7100s as well, we had a lapse in those after me telling everybody how great they are. Especially as they cover all the bands from top band through to 70 sems, including 6 meters, 4 meters, 2 and 70 sems. They're back in stock again. Thank you, Icom UK. We had deliveries coming in. I think they arrived on Friday or Monday. I've lost track. I'm still not at the store yet. I do pop in and see that the guys are working. There's a couple more people in there. Sorry for the planes, by the way. We're not very far away from Heathrow, so that's what a plane sounds like if you don't live next to an airport or near an airport. So IC-7610s, IC-7100s back in stock, and of course a big deletion of IC-7300s because we completely ran out. And we got a load of those in. Actually, not many, but they did come in, and we have, as I'm speaking to you today, on Thursday the 11th, they're back in stock as well. So all the 3 best-selling Icom transceivers are available. LDG, we just had another delivery of them. I've got a little sheet here because I'm not sitting in front of a computer, you see. I could have, but the Wi-Fi here, well, first of all, 4G and that doesn't exist around this area. It's useless. I think I've moaned about that before. And my Wi-Fi doesn't extend to my little garden, but I am going to put up a little cell over there so I can actually look at my computer. So LDG have delivered. The Z-11 ProIIs are finally back in stock, so if you want to extend your tuning range of your Icom transceiver rather than typically 2:3 to 1 of the internal tuner, the Z-11 ProII with the IC-PAC interface lead, just plug it in the back of the Icom and small box sit on top. No doubt my editors are sticking in pictures of the Z-11 Pro as we talk, as I have done the rest of them. FT-65 Yaesu, they're back in stock, completely run out of those. Dual band, handheld of course, very rugged, built on their commercial background. Yaesu had their Vertex standard range for many years. They are also available now from stock. And the FTM
FT-65E is finally back in stock, as indeed the FTDX 101Ds and MPs have also arrived, so that's good. Lastly, IC-705, yes, they are in manufacture. Thank you very, very much to those of you, the thousands and thousands of you that actually watched the box opening, or unopening should I say, and the demo by Nichiei Radio of Japan on YouTube. He put up a video last week of when he'd received a small handful, I understand, so they are actually arriving in Japanese dealers now. No, they haven't got any spare stock, because I was on to knock a rabbit, and absolutely not. Yes, the video is all in Japanese, but the subtitles, press the subtitle button and they all pop up. It is quite hilarious, because of course it's also generated for sheer amusement. Look at it. However, the gentleman that owns the ham radio store, and I've been into lots of ham radio stores in Tokyo, in Akihabara, where all the Japanese electronics really based suppliers are there, and they're absolutely crammed. It is a real experience. And he very clearly goes through the product, shows you what you get in the box. Yes, it will probably change. We're not going to get exactly the same as the Japanese versions. Maybe, I've no idea when we finally get them. But definitely worth watching. So look on our ML&S channel. We've given him complete credit. We've done nothing to it. Literally just put a link on so you can watch it. Thanks also very, very much to all the people, several dozen I guess it was, probably a bit more than that emailed in and also called in. Quite a few more people called in on Icom, unfortunately not being able to put 70 megs on the 705 at the last moment. I understand it was a technical issue, and that's why it's not going to be there. When Icom UK actually asked me to provide feedback from any emails and phone calls that we received from customers, I jumped at the chance. And indeed, all those emails and notes from phone calls were sent to Icom UK, and they of course sent them straight to the factory in Japan. So I've actually written an email to everybody that wrote in last week, as you know from my little drive around video without both hands on the steering wheel all the time, so they have got it. I think what I'd like to say is that manufacturers do actually listen to feedback from customers through their dealers, and I know this because I've always fed back information, whether they want to hear it or not actually, to the manufacturers, including the big three of course, but also a lot more of our smaller manufacturers and the one-man bands in this country and others that we deal with. And I think part of running what I think is a successful ham radio business is that we do get closer to our distributors. They do come and see us. And I guess one of the big grins was me visiting Yaesu Musen in Tokyo many years ago at their HQ and persuading them to put 4 meters on an FT-847. So they really were the first, I think, of the big three, certainly to put 4 meters on their transceiver, and that was on the 847, long preceding anybody else. Yeah, that does make me smile, and I actually remember that when I was thinking about doing this presentation to you. So the product planners and engineers do visit us, not only in Staines. They went to Chertsey. I even had them in the big double shop that we had in Ealing, and even the little corner shop. Yaesu suddenly appeared, 7 of them appeared in the shop. That filled my first little corner shop up, for those of you who can remember. And they sit round with us and talk to us about their current product range, and indeed what customers like, what they don't like. They say very little, but believe me, they make lots and lots of notes. Also part of our reporting back to the manufacturers, included in that, is our engineers. Our 4 workshop guys, when they find faults, they don't just fix them and send it back to the customer. We tabulate it and send it all back to the manufacturers. Yes, Icom, Kenwood and Yaesu included, and the small ones.
Why do we do it? Because we want them to know what there may be a production problem, a design error, or a production component fault, and if they don't get the feedback from us, and indeed the distributors of the products, how can we maintain quality or improve it? So it does work. I guess you can blame me working at Racal-BCC in the early 70s when I did my apprenticeship there, which I absolutely adored, by the way. People say, you know, what other jobs have you done? And it was working for Racal-BCC in Wembley, big manufacturing and design company, making Klansmen and all that side, all the military products. And I actually ended up working in quality assurance for my sins after I finished my apprenticeship. And I was actually their main quality assurance auditor for not only the factories, but also for all their subcontractors. It was my job to wander around looking at where errors were occurring, how I could improve production flow, maybe operating procedures. People scoff at it, but it is important, and it's certainly one thing we've learned even more so in the last 9-10 weeks of lockdown, that our procedures always need tweaking. We certainly haven't been used to having to work from home with 2 or 3 guys stuck in the shop. So believe me, we need to address a lot, and we think we've got an awful lot better. So thank you for your feedback. Good and bad. Yeah, when I finished my apprenticeship, I ended up in quality assurance. I really did enjoy it. You don't go around with a clipboard and bark at people. You try and get with them. And because I was a spotty 16-year-old kid when I first joined them, I'd worked in all the departments, or most of them. I wasn't clever enough to work in the design department. I remember that. I really wasn't. And there was another one I forgot. Oh, it was accounts. I didn't work in the accounts department there either. But printed circuit board manufacturing, sheet metal work department, paint spraying. Guess where I used to make all my equipment when I used to home brew, and they banned me from the local radio club for putting it forward because it was blatantly obvious. I'd made the chassis and spray painted them and made them at work. But I did it with my own hands. There you go. In fact, both hands. I'm not holding a steering wheel. So, and then after that, of course, I left Racal-BCC in 1980. Full-time, and joined Bernie and Brenda at Amateur Radio Exchange, and finally got into amateur radio. I was working with them part-time from 1976, but I do remember leaving Racal-BCC as many years ago as it was, 40 years ago actually, and shedding a tear as I drove away and left behind 800 staff in the factory, or factories. And yes, I was a factory boy, and people say, oh, you work in a factory? I loved it, believe me. It was great fun. And I was 22, 23, whatever it was, I don't know. But leaving 800 people behind that I grew up with was sad, and I still remember it. Very sad. So that's it. I hope you've enjoyed my toddle in the garden near Staines, in Middlesex, near Heathrow Airport. We are open for click and collect. Go on the web and it tells you how to do it. We are open from Monday, only so far as we'd still prefer you rang first, please, or look on the web. We're just opening up as you walk into our entrance, where the waiting area is, where your partners sit around and drink coffee whilst you're perusing. We can't let you into the main showroom yet. You know the size of it. It is huge. Yes, we've got all the signage, but we're not completely sure how we're going to get it to work. And we're really looking, like everybody else is, taking guidance. There's an 84-page document on how this is all meant to work. And if you've got a small showroom, you probably get away with it. But the size of ours, it's not quite right. We'll get there, and sooner rather than later, because we're missing you all. But anyway, so do bear with us, and we'll see you from Monday. That's it for now. I hope the weather improves at the weekend. And it hasn't actually. It is raining very slightly, but an umbrella parked up above me, cheating slightly. Goodbye. All the best. Have fun. Oh, and stay safe, obviously.